I'm Liz from Caravan Guard Insurance. Replacing a wheel on a motorhome is quite similar to changing a wheel on a car. However, motorhome wheels and tyres are heavier, they're usually bigger and can take some effort to change. In this video we've come to Lowdhams Leisureworld, and with the help of one of their expert team we'll go through the steps of changing a motorhome wheel. A flat tyre, or worse still a blowout, can unfortunately happen at any time on your motorhome travels. However, it can be particularly dangerous if you're travelling at speed, for example on a dual carriageway or motorway. If you have a flat tyre in these circumstances, pull over when it's safe to do so, get out of the vehicle, step over any protective barriers and call the Highways Agency to inform them of your predicament and take advice from them. Jacking up a heavy vehicle like a motorhome can be dangerous, and to change a motorhome wheel you not only need the correct equipment and tools, but you also need to be on a suitable flat and solid ground. Only ever attempt to change a motorhome wheel if you're confident, competent and it is safe to do so. Some new motorhomes might also not have a spare wheel, but will likely have a tyre inflation kit, so we therefore recommend contacting your breakdown provider to help you if your location is in any way dangerous or you're not able or confident to do it yourself. If you're insured with Caravan Guard, we'll provide details of this at the end of the video. If you are able, the location is safe and you do have a spare wheel, then this is the equipment you will need. A jack, a wheel socket, a wheel brace or torque wrench, locking wheel nut socket, some gloves and a pump or pressure gauge. Most of the required tools and equipment needed will have been supplied with your motorhome. It's a good idea to familiarise yourself with where the equipment is stored and to check what's included before you need them. However, a good addition to the equipment is a pair of gloves, as wheels and tyres can be dirty. So let's make a start by getting the spare wheel ready. In some motorhomes the spare is stored under the bed. Some are on the rear door, but most spare wheels are located underneath the motorhome. Different manufacturers have different methods of securing the spare wheel in place. Check with your handbook on how to remove the spare wheel. On this motorhome, it's located at the rear in a carrier and just needs unclipping to drop the wheel down. Once the spare wheel is released from the motorhome, check the condition is suitable for use, that the pressure is correct, and then finally place it to one side ready for refitting. It's also worth wiping over the faces of the spare wheel to remove any debris or dirt. Make sure the motorhome handbrake is firmly applied and that there are no passengers or pets inside the vehicle. If you're replacing the front wheel, fold the mirrors in to prevent any injury. Then, using the wheel brace, start by loosening the wheel nuts on the wheel that needs changing. Don't remove the bolts, simply loosen them, as this will make it easier to remove the wheel later on. Start by hand turning the jack so it's nearly at the height of the motorhome, then locate the jacking point and locate the jack underneath. Continue to hand turn the jack so it locates in its designated jacking point. Your motorhome will have a jacking point at each corner. Refer to your manual for more information. Don't be tempted to use any other location on the motorhome to jack it up. On this motorhome, the jack is just under the bodywork on a dedicated mounting block. Making sure that the jack is on solid ground and is flat to the floor, raise the jack until the motorhome wheel is clear off the ground. Use the supplied handle to add extra leverage to the jack. It can become heavy and might require some effort to jack further. It's important that the motorhome is off the ground enough so that the spare wheel can be located onto the wheel hub. Remove the wheel bolts from the wheel, but leave the bottom nut in until the end. This will make it easier to remove and stop the wheel from falling. When removing the last wheel bolt, place your foot against the tyre to hold it in place before lifting the wheel away. Pull the wheel off the motorhome and set aside ready to go back on the spare wheel carrier. If your motorhome has alloy wheels and the spare wheel is steel, it's likely you will also find a set of wheel nuts in your kit. It's important to use these wheel nuts with the steel wheel, because they're a slightly different shape and will locate the wheel better. A closer look at the hub of the motorhome will show the two locating pins. These locate onto the spare wheel in one orientation only. It might take some shuffling to get these to line up, so go careful as the wheel can be heavy. Once the bolt holes are aligned, add one bolt and rotate by hand to hold the wheel in place. Add the rest of the bolts again until hand tight. Use the wrench to tighten all the bolts until they're tight. We'll adjust the torque once the motorhome is back on the floor. Remove any tools and axle stands from under the motorhome, then lower the jack to return the motorhome to the ground. Once on the ground, torque the wheel nuts to the correct setting, which will be detailed in your handbook. Do this in a star formation around each wheel nut. Reattach the punctured wheel to the spare wheel carrier. You can release this later on to get the tyre replaced. Then reinstate the spare wheel carrier back on the motorhome. Again, refer to the manual on how the spare wheel carrier works on your motorhome model. Don't forget to gather all your tools and then finally check the torque of the newly attached wheel after around 75 to 100 miles of travel. So there you go. At Caravan Guard, we would recommend the use of a tyre pressure monitoring system, as this will keep a check of the pressure in the tyres and the temperature. They can give you an early notification that something is wrong, giving you plenty of opportunity to find a safe place to pull over. These devices also attract a small motorhome insurance discount with Caravan Guard, as will fit in tyre-on safety bands. We'd also recommend packing high-vis vests in case you're ever stranded on the side of the road, and that you also have a warning triangle that can be placed behind the motorhome to warn other road users that you've broken down. As mentioned earlier, many modern motorhomes have tyre inflation kits instead of a spare wheel as a temporary fix for a small puncture. This is a chemical solution that is sprayed into the tyre where it expands and fills a hole as a temporary fix, allowing the tyre to be used for a short distance until a tyre repair shop can replace it. These kits are light and easy to use. Our motorhome insurance policy includes breakdown, roadside assistance or recovery as standard for help in situations like a flat tyre. We hope you found this video useful. For more motorhoming hints and tips or details of our comprehensive motorhome insurance cover, head on over to the Caravan Guard website. A huge thank you to Lowdhams for helping us with the filming of this video. Thanks for watching and safe travels.